Okay, to continue, so somehow nakikita na yung slide. Anyone would like to affirm? Nakikita ba?
Yes, sir.
Yes po, sir.
Yes po, sir.
Okay. So as I mentioned a while ago, the first translation was in French language and given a new title, yung Ope de Monet, and this is done by Henry Lucas and Ramon Sempao. Then the first English translation, and again, given a new title, The Friars and Filipinos by Frank Ernest Gannett, no? So somehow parang yung discussion natin, no, yung Hearts of Translation, nakikita natin dito, no? Kasi he has given a new title, somehow parang nababago siya, no? Same thing in 1900, another English translation by McClure, no? Phillips Incorporation, no, adapted the novel, no, Noli Tangere, and given a title, An Eagle Flight. In 1906, the first Filipino translation by what we call Dr. Pascual Hilario Poblete, yung Wag Akong Salangin Nino Man, or Somebody Touch Me Not, no? So, meron yan, no, yung Tagalog version niya. And then from the work of Dr. Poblete in 1912, popular to, no, The Social Cancer, which someone mentioned naman in the chapter by Charles Derbyshire, no, one of the English translations. So probably we can consider this as the third English translation, no? And then same year, 1912, Noli Me Tangere, so in a German language, no, Filivenece Roman, so has been translated by or given a new translation in German language by Abraham Anthony Volker, no? Volker, or pwedeng Volker kasi German, no? Of course, it was in 1956 wherein the Rizal Bill was approved, no? And 1956, Noli Me Tangere, a complete English translation of Noli Me Tangere, wherein ginawa naman yan ni Senator Camilo Ocias, no? And 1961, a popular author, no, si Leon Maria Guerrero, he was regarded as the first Filipino who translated Noli Me Tangere. But actually, parang mistaken to, no? Kasi the translation of Noli Me Tangere, hindi sa translation of Leon Maria Guerrero is not in Filipino, but rather in English, no? The Lost Eden. Okay? So parang medyo may ano doon, no? Something na confusion. So don't be confused, no? First Filipino who translated it in English, probably not in Filipino, no? So to continue, and then of course, ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na recommended by the government na pag magiging reference. Hindi ba yung isang kailangan, dapat yung university or college, meron siyang an expurgated or original copy of Noli Me Tangere. And the translation of Maria Soledad Locsin is considered, no, as something that is unexpurgated or something that is original. And of course, kilala niyo to mga Filipino major, buhay pa yan, no, si Virgilio Almario na he also translated it in Tagalog, no. And then of course in what we call in Australia, si Harold Oldfield-Brom, no, Noli Me Tangere, it's English translation. Okay? Now, I examined the work of Gannett, no, si Frank Ernest Gannett and Charles Derbyshire. So, 12 years yung pagitan, no? So, if we will compare as regard to the chapter title, no, or chapter's title, so there somehow you can observe yung differences. So, of course, we cannot discuss it na by chapter, iano natin, no? We will come up with, kasi 64 chapters yan. So, for Gannett, no, tingnan natin, no, chapter 1 niya, title niya, Don Santiago's Dinner. Kay Derbyshire, Social Gathering. Chapter 2, At the Dinner Table. Tapos kay Crisostomo Ibarra. Tingnan natin kung may magmamatch, no? Wala, no? And then chapter 3, yung herehe, the heretic, revolutionist, sa kanya yung the dinner. So chapter 4, Kapitan Tiago, heretic and a filibuster. So parang dapat yung chapter 4, chapter 3 ni chapter 4 siya. And then chapter 5, an ideal, the Zotea. So that is a Zotea. I just missed the letter A, no? And then a star in the dark. Kaya no? And then chapter 6, things in the Philippines, and then that's only for Kapitan Tiago. So that means kung mapapansin niyo, the work of Frank Ernest Gannett, meron siyang in-skip or something pinagsamang mga chapter. Kaya in the end, kung makikita mo yung work niya, hindi siya umabot ng chapter 64. Umabot lang siya ng chapter 30 something, no? Kasi meron siyang parang pinagsama. So again, something to do with the hearts of translation, no? And then tingnan mo yung chapter 8 niya, Ibarra and the Grave Digger, kay something to do with recollection. Chapter 9, Adventure of School Teachers, Local Affairs. So, may ini-skip siya, no? So, tingnan nyo, no? So, I will not, just observe them, no? Okay? So, as you can see, dami ko ng so, no? It's different when we talk about the work of Frank Ernest Gannett and the work of Charles Devonshire. So, as you can see, no? Yan. But somehow, may pareho naman yung title nila. Nagkapareho din naman. Pero, majority, hindi, no? Kung na-observe ninyo. And then, hindi sila pareho ng chapters. Okay? So, as you can observe, they have in a different chapters, no? And different title talaga. Yan, okay? So in my observation, merong isang title dito. Yan, yung nakikita nyo yung Vae Victis. No? It's a Latin word, woe to the vanquished. No? Ibig sabihin, something na, so it's something to do with the suffering of those who have been vanquished. No? So yan, parehong-pareho yan. Hindi na bago yan. No? Okay? So kung titingnan nyo, remember that one, no? Yung baby kiss, makikita rin natin yan sa what we call sa social cancer ni Charles Devonshire. So as I mentioned, yung Friars and Filipinos, umabot lang siya ng, ilang chapters yan? XLI, that is 41 chapters. So yung 64 chapters ni Rizal na Noli Me Tangere, sa translation ni Frank Ernest Gannett, naging na lang siya, what we call 41 chapters, yung Friars and Filipinos, no? Very interesting, no? Kung pag-aaralan mo talaga, no? Okay, of course, the cockpit, nandiyan yan. Yung enigma, hindi rin nagbago, no? So may mga hindi nagbago wherein they are the same. Now, meron dito na somehow hindi rin binago ni Charles Devonshire, kung nakikita niyo itong, this is more of a French language, no? Buon di si conoce the matina. Ang ibig sabihin niyan, a good beginning makes a good ending. So in one of the chapters, so probably that is chapter 53, ito yung title ng, even in Rizal's chapter, ganito siya, no? Buon di si conoce the matina. Okay? Yan, hindi binago ng translator. Okay, to continue. So as I mentioned, ayan yung Bay Victis, no? Yung Woo for the Vanquished, hindi rin nabago kay yung original na nandyan sa chapter 57, no? Chapter 57, still the same in the social cancer. Same thing phase 1, the Acars, no? Of course, yung Maria Clara Wed, medyo nagaano lang kasi bakit nababago yung use of word, no? Kasi that time, hindi pa ginagamit yung word na to. And then, in that time, nabago na siya, no? Binigyan na siya ng bagong like this one, no? 12 years yung pagitan, 1900 to 1912. So probably may bago ng mga words. So probably the translator, one of the hearts of the translation, yung modernization, wherein they inserted the what we call yung mga present time na nangyayari, no? Or particularly the words. Okay? The 64 chapters, kay naging 63 chapters na lang, no? So probably na-end siya during the Christmas Eve. So hindi na sinama ni Devonshire siguro gusto niya maging happy ending yung what we call Noli Me Tangere. Kaya only included yung 63, just they included the 60 chapters, no? Okay? Now, let's talk about the characters, no, of the novel. So probably ang daming version ng mga characters, no, wherein they interpreted in the character into something na realistic and somehow fictional yung others, no? Okay, so probably yung other historian, yung comment nila, yung nga, Noli Me Tangere is non-fictional, no? The only fictional in the novel, it's the character. Kumbaga, inimbento ni Rizal yung mga pangalan, no? Okay? So kung sa panahon natin ngayon, pwede natin sabihin na data privacy, no? Kasi hindi niya rin-reveal yung the right for confidentiality and privacy, no? Hindi niya rin-reveal kung sino yung mga taong ito. But they represent a certain person, like Padre Damaso, Maria Clara, Ibarra, Piloso Potasio. So somehow they represent something, no? Okay, so these are some of the different version of what we call Noli Me Tangere. Now let us meet the character, no? Let's talk about the character of the novel. So as you can see, Juan Crisostomo Ibarra y Magsalin, of course, that's the main character, the what we call the protagonist, no? So Ibarra or Crisostomo Ibarra is the protagonist in the story or novel, and the son of a businessman, si Don Rafael Ibarra, wherein returned from San Diego to search the body of its father, no? And also, medyo binago lang niya, no? So bumalik si Ibarra after 7 years. Probably this is referring to the second homecoming of Rizal. Kasi nung first homecoming niya, 5 years sojourn, no? Pero nung second homecoming niya, so he already 7 years. So parang ganun siguro, no? Pero he wrote this, the novel, before its second homecoming. So medyo binago na yung date, no? From 5 years, ginawa niyang 7 years. And of course, they do believe that Juan Crisostomo Ibarra was Rizal, no? And then, of course, Ibarra was Maria Clara's fiancé, na hindi naman nagkatuluyan, no? Sabi nga parang may pagka-touch of love story, no? Yung romantic, yung Noli Me Tangere. The romance between rather, between Ibarra and Maria Clara, same thing, the romance of what we called Elias and Salome, no? Okay. Yun nga, several sources or historian claim that Ibarra is also Rizal's reflection, no? Now, from Ibarra, we have Maria Clara de los Santos y Alba, no? Of course, commonly known as Maria Clara or commonly referred to as Maria Clara. It was Ibarra's fiancée, no? And probably she was raised by its father, Capitan Tiago, no? San Diego de Cabezas de Barangay. And of course, Maria Clara learned or lumaki siya, grow or raised by Tia Isabel, knowing that its real father was what we call Capitan Tiago. And then later on, he discovered, no, he is an illegitimate daughter of Padre Damaso pala, no, a former parish curate of town. And of course, yung mother niya, si Doña Pia Alba, the wife of Capitan Tiago, no. Nalaman na lang niya yan nung ikakasal sa sana kay Linares, no, na pamangking ni Don Tiburcio and Doña Victorina, no, si Alfonso Linares. And and Ibarra, he wanted to get the letters na binigay niya sa kanya. So in exchange for that letter, he gave an information about its identity. So doon niya nalaman ni Maria Clara na ang totoong tatay niya or father was Padre Damaso, not Kapitan Tiago. And makikita naman natin, no, parang scientifically, wala siyang kapatid, no? Kung iba-base natin sa science, bakit di siya nagkaroon ng kapatid? So pwedeng we can assume na merong yung binigay ni Ibarra sa kanya nagpapatunay that Kapitan Tiago was parang baog, parang ganun, no? Na hindi siya pwedeng magkaanak. Actually, yung mag-asawang Kapitan Tiago and Tia Alba, kinukutsa ang mga yan, no, na bakit sa tagal na daw nilang mag-asawa, hindi sila nagkakaanak. Then later on, nagkaanak siya, no? And of course, the character of Maria Clara was patterned after Leonor Rivera, Rizal's first cousin and childhood sweetheart na namatay nung nasa dapitan siya, di ba, na naging asma niya si Keeping, a chemistry teacher, an English chemistry teacher. Oh? Okay? Continue. Kaya yung reflection ni Maria Clara is referring kay Leonor Rivera. No? And then Don Santiago de los Santos, or Capitan Tiago, the father of what we call Maria Clara, known by its nickname Tiago, with political title Capitan Tiago. No? So that time, no, during the Spanish time, kung napapansin niyo, mahilig silang ng name, no, anong tawag doon, magbigay ng palaya or nickname, no. So Kapitan Tiago is a known businessman and the cabeza de barangay, so head of the barangay, Kapitan siya, no, of the town San Diego. Kaya nga Kapitan Tiago, no. Of course, no, father of Maria Clara, considered richest man in the region of Binondo, and he possessed real properties in Pampanga and Laguna de Bay, no. Mayaman nga, no. Of course, he's considered as a good Catholic, friend of the Spanish government, and was considered as a Spanish bicolonialist, no. So kahit na hindi siya pure Spanish, he was considered as a pure Spanish bicolonialist, no. Ibig sabihin dahil yung San Diego is considered part of Spain. Of course, he became a domestic helper of the Dominican friars, no, and married to Pia Alba, no, from Santa Cruz. And then pinsan niya si Tia Isabel, no, na nagpalaki naman kay Maria Clara. Okay? So to continue, yan, no. So these are some of the characters. So si Doña Pia Alba, so wife of Kapitan Tiago, and mother of Maria Clara, of course, she died in giving birth to her, no? Kaya nagpalaki kay Maria Clara ay yung tiya na, si Tia Isabel. In reality, she was raped by Damaso, so she could bear a child. And then, of course, si Tia Isabel, yung sabi ko nga kanina sa my description na Rizal was misinterpreted as being misogynist, no? Si Tia Isabel is Kapitan Tiago's cousin, tumulong na magpalaki kay Maria Clara. And of course, the mortal enemy of Ibarra, si Padre Damaso Verdolagas, no? A Franciscan friar and former parish priest of San Diego. The real father of Maria Clara, as I say, mortal enemy of Chrysostomos Ibarra, no? And also, naging din, no? Dati friend siya ng father ni Crisostomo Ibarra, si Don Rafael, no? And then later on, nagalit siya kay Don Rafael kasi every time na nag-a-attend ng misa si Don Rafael, hindi siya nagbibigay. He never contributed any centavos or any pesetas, no, during the masses. Kaya nagalit si Padre Damaso. Of course, he is best known as notorious character who speaks with harsh word and has been a cruel priest. Of course, kung nakita ninyo, anong chapter yun? Chapter 1 ba? Yung kay Padre ay what we call the bank, yung dinner or salo-salo. Siya yung nagko-complain about the tinola wherein nabigay sa kanya yung part na hindi maganda, yung part ng ulo, paa, pakpak, ganyan, no? So, nagalit siya that time, no? And then we have Salome, Elias' sweetheart. She lives in a little house by lake. And through Elias would like to marry her, and he tells her that it will do her or their children no good to be related to a fugitive like him. Kung titignan mo, may pagkaano talaga, no, very romantic yung nung may kilig ng konti yung Noli ni Tangere kasi may under the plot of being rebellious, no, or the plot of rebellion, no, kaya nga meron siyang part na something to do with romantic love, no, or romantic scene, no. Of course, Elias is Ibarra's mysterious friend and ally. Elias made his first appearance as pilot, yung nagbabangka, no, during the picnic of Ibarra and Maria Clara and her friends, kasama si Albinos, no, that time. He wanted to revolutionize the country and to be freed from Spanish oppression. So, the character of Elias, as described by many historians, siya talaga yung very tough character na gustong mag-aklas or to lead the rebellion. Kaya lang namatay siya, no. Yun nga yung kaninang binanggit natin, si General Alejandrino, no? Yung naging roommate ni Rizal, minention, pinatay niya si Elias, pero dapat parang i-regretted to kill Elias, no? And how did Elias and Ibarra became friend? Of course, yung nga, nung picnic, may nakasalubong silang alligator, no? The description, it's alligator, no? And they tried to attack the alligator, but during that time, yung encounter na yon, si Elias almost beaten by the alligator, but he was saved by Ibarra. And because of that, parang utang na loob, no? So that time, nag-exist na, no? The utang na loob. Maybe we just learned the utang na loob from the Spaniard, no? And that time, pinakita na as a gratitude, a debt of gratitude to Ibarra, he promised himself to protect him. No, actually Ibarra does not know that he has a secret alliance, no, and a mysterious friend, yung nga si Elias. And historian considered Elias as Rizal alter ego, the other character of Rizal, no, parang ganon, or parang other character siya ni Ibarra, something like that, no. And then of course we have Piloso Potasio, no, known by his Philippines name, Piloso Potasio or Potasio, no? Seek for reform from the government. He expressed his ideas in paper written in cryptographic alphabet. Kilalang matalino, no? Kaya nga yung title ng part ni, yung kung nakita nyo kanina, no? Piloso Potasio, ano sabi ni, yung parang crazy or sage. So yung kay Devishir, no? So he's an educated inhabitant of San Diego, labeled him as Philosopher Tasio, Tasio the Sage, while others called him as Tasio el Loco in Saint Tasio due to his exceptional talent for reasoning. Of course, kilala daw siya as the brother of Rizal, si Pasiano. No? So si Protasio, no? Protasio or Philosopher Tasio. And then, of course, we have Don Tiburcio and Doña Victorina. No? Merong chapter na sa kanila talaga, no? Meron nga doon, the two women, no? Or, yes, commonly known as Doña Victorina, is an ambitious Filipina who classified herself as a Spanish and mimic Spanish ladies by putting on heavy makeup. Di ba yung mga comment nila, parang masyado namang si Rizal sa mga babae, biased, no? Yung misogynist, no? Or parang chauvinist. Actually, hindi naman talaga chauvinist, pero parang ganito lang, parang napakababa yung tingin niya, no? And of course, si Don Tiburcio de Espadaña, the Spanish quack doctor, no, who is named Pilay and submissive to his wife, Doña Victorina. Of course, yung kwento ng dalawang yan, si Doña Victorina, kaya pinakasalan niya lang si Don Tiburcio para umangat yung kanyang no, kasi para siyang social climber, no, and he wanted to become a Spanish, no. Gusto niya maging siya talaga, Spaniard. Okay? And of course, si Pedro, that is referring to the abusive husband of Sisa who loves cockfighting, no? Yun, yung parang nambubugbog kay, kay Sisa. Somehow, no, this scenario na pinapakita na during the Spanish time, women, no, there's what we call domestic violence existing that time. So probably we can still relate in the present condition na may nangyayari pa rin ganyan, no? Na pagiging chauvinist, no, wherein they don't show respect to their wife. Of course, si Sisa or Narcisa, no, kung natatandaan nyo, one of the sister of Rizal, no, name as Narcisa, but he is not referring to Narcisa, no. So she became deranged, no, or what we call, he was identified as the name mother of Basilio and Crispin. But he was described as being beautiful and young, although she loves her children very much, she cannot protect them from the beating of her husband, si Pedro, no? Si Pedro walang ginawa kundi maglasing, uminom, umawak ng yung kanyang manok, magsabong, ganyan lang siya, no? And of course, si Sisa, he was abused by Doña Victorina, no? And then the younger brother of Basilio, no, the younger son of Sisa, si Crispin, so, 7 years old, an altar boy, was unjustly accused of stealing money from the church. Siya yung namatay, no? After failing to force Crispin to return the money, he allegedly stole Father Salvi, no? And the head sacristan killed him, according to Basilio's dream. So, probably yung sacristan na panaginipan ni Basilio, siya yung pumatay sa kanyang kapatid, no? And of course, we have Sisa, no? We have Basilio, which is Sisa's 10 years old at time, no? At siya rin yung parang sa kwento in the last chapter, siya yung inutusan ni Elias to burn their body or to bury their body, no, in exchange of a chest of gold or jewelry. That time he was an acolyte tasked to ring the church bell for Angelus, and he faced the dread of losing his younger brother and the descent of his mother into insanity. No? At the end of the knell bell, yun nga, Elias wished Basil to bury him by burning its chains of chains of gold located its dead body. So, yung scene na yun, medyo very, ano yun, no? Very, somehow, very, what we call this one, napaka-dramatic ng scene na yun. Kasi, Basilio tried to find their mother, si Sisa, no? And then, inahabol niya, he ran after his mother, and then, nagawi sila sa gubat, or sa kakakuyan. And then, sa kakakuyan, may isang kubo, pumasok si Sisa doon, no? And then, nung pumasok si Sisa, Basilio came after her, and then, nung magkatitigan sila, umiiyak si Basilio, and then, her mother embraced him. And then, after embracing him, that was the time her mother died, no? And then, saying nothing, no? Parang, napakabata pa ni Basilio, 10 years old that time, no? And then namatay. And then doon din nakita ni Basilio si Elias. So kung titignan niyo, no, napaka ano ng Noli Me Tangere. It consists of different stories of of course, kung sabi nga nila na those are result observation during its time, no? Kung hindi naman katangisip lang, no? Kaya nga considered non-fictions. And among the priests, we have Padre Bernardo Salvi, the Franciscan curate, no, of San Diego, who were secretly harboring lust for Maria Clara, no, is described to be very thin and sickly. And then, of course, we have Padre Hernando de Cibaila, a Dominican friar, is described as short and as fair-skinned, instructed by an old priest in his order to watch Crisostomo Ibarra. Siya yung nag-spy kay Ibarra, no? Si Padre Cibaila. Actually, siya yung kaano ni Padre Damaso, no? Kalihim niya na, or kasikreto niya sa kung anong nangyari sa father ni Ibarra, kay Don Rafael. Of course, we have Doña Consolacion, wife of the Alferez, no? The Alferez, nicknamed as La Musa de Guardia Civil, so the Musa of Civil Guards, or La Alfereza, was a former laundry woman who passes herself as peninsular, no? Best remembered for her abusive treatment of Sisa. And of course, si Alferez, or Alferez, no? Chief of the Guardia Civil, mortal enemy of the priest for the power in San Diego and husband of Doña Consolacion. Si Alvarez, siya yung kilalang nakikipag-agawan, di ba, ng what we call power sa mga pari, no? And then we have Teniente Ibarra, a close friend of Don Rafael Ibarra. He reveals to Crisostomo Ibarra how Don Rafael Ibarra's death came out. Siya yung nagkwento, no, kay Ibarra kung paano nakulong yung kanyang tatay, no? Or the father, yung si Don Rafael. And then sa kwento, of course, kung natatandaan nyo, there is an incident that Don Rafael helped the boy, no, na kinukutsa niya yung tax collector. Kaya lang, nung yung tax collector about to beat the boy, or inaano niya, no, tried to beat him, Don Rafael pushed the tax collector and then natumba, nabagok yung ulo, namatay. So that's the reason why Don Rafael was incarcerated or nakulong siya. And then of course nalungkot siya sa kulungan, no? And then namatay din siya doon. Yun ang kwento ni Don Teniente Ibarra. Alfonso Linares naman, as I mentioned a while ago, no, is a distant nephew of Don Tiburcio Escudanya. Of course, that will be a fiancé of Maria Clara. Gusto niya maging pakasal kay Maria Clara. Although he presented himself as a practitioner of law, gaya ng kanyang fake doctor, na tito, sa fake lawyer. It was later revealed that he just like Don Tiburcio, wherein is a fraud, no? He later died due to given medication of Don Tiburcio. So yung parang karma, no? Namatay siya dahil sa maling paggamot ni Don Tiburcio. And then we have Governor General, pero description ni Rizal na mabait siya, no? A named person in the novel is the most powerful official in the Philippines. He has great disdain for the friars and corrupt official and sympathizes with Ibarra. And then we have Don Felipe Lino, Vice Mayor of the town of San Diego, leader of the Liberals. And then we have Don Rafael, no, Ibarra, father of Crisostomo Ibarra. Though he's the richest man in San Diego, he also the most virtuous and generous person, pero he never gave anything to the ano. And then Padre Manuel Martinez, the linguist curate of the Libertine, would deliver a sermon during the San Diego's fiesta naman, no? Of course, Don Saturnino Ibarra, the grandfather of Ibarra, no, the son of Don Pedro, father of Don Rafael, and grandfather of Ibarra or Cristo Ibarra, he was the one who developed the town San Diego and was described as cruel man but was very clever. At siya rin yung kilalang nagpahirap, no, sa family ni what we called Elias, no, and Elias was not aware about that, no. Parang conflict yun, no? And then, of course, the great-grandfather of Ibarra, si Don Pedro Ibarramedia, no? Yan ang tunay nilang surname, Ibarramedia, no? Parang yung kay Lamco, no? The great-grandfather of Crisostomo Ibarra, who came from Basque area of Spain, or Basques of Spain, started the misfortune of Elias family. Okay, correction, no? It was its great-grandfather. His descendant aggravated their surname to Ibarra. He died of unknown reason, but was seen as decaying corpse at Balete Tree. And then we have Kapitan Basilio, Sinang Fathers, no, saying tumulong about the academia, no, o yung school leader of the conservatives. And then we have Bruno and Tercido, of your brothers who was killed by the Spaniard. And then we have Norwan, the what we call the foreman. And then Kapitana Tika, the wife of Kapitan Basilio, mother of Sinang. And then si Albino, a while ago, a former seminarian who joined the picnic with Ibarra and And then si Sinang, no? Si Sinang was Maria Clara's friend. Because of course, Subar offered half of the school he was building to Sinang, he gained Kapitan Basilio's support. Actually, siya yung naging tulay para ma-prove yung pagpapatayo ng akademya, no? Or what we call school. And then other friends of Maria Clara, we have Iday, Andeng, and Victoria. Of course, si Tandang Pablo, the leader of the Tulisanes of the bandits, and I think I mentioned that one, no, whose family was destroyed because of the Spaniard. And of course, other character, no, of course, we have Kapitana Maria Elena, nationalist woman who defended Ibarra and the memory of his father, no, parang kay Tiniente Guevara. And then we have Kapitan Tino and Kapitan Valentin, other known people from the town of San Diego. And then the Sacristan Mayor, the one who governed the Altar Boys and killed Crispin for his accusation. And then si Lucas, kapatid ni taong madilaw, no, or the Amarillo Hombre, no. He planned a revolution against the government with Ibarra as the leader. After he was turned down by Ibarra, he was said to have a scar on his left cheek, and he would later be killed by the Sacristan Mayor. And then yung El Hombre Amarillo, kapatid ni Lucas, apparently means yellowish person named as taong madilaw, no. One of Crisostomo Ibarra's would be assassin. Ito yung nagtatangkang pumatay sa kanya, no. But is later on parang nakarma, no? He is not named in the novel and will describe as such, no? Yun nga, yung El Nombre Amarillo. In the novel, it carved the cornerstone to kill Ibarra, but however, instead of killing Ibarra, he was killed by the cornerstone that is trying to use or plan to assassinate Ibarra. Okay? So, sabi nga ni Amberto Campo, no, before I will end my discussion, sabi niya, Filipinos are not a reading people, no? Tama, totoo siya, no? And despite the compulsory course on the life and work of Rizal today, from the elementary to the university level, it is accepted that the Noli Tangere and El Filibusterismo are highly regarded but seldom read, no? Or seldom read, if not totally ignored. Tama, no? I am one of those, no, who commit that. No? Therefore, one asks, how can unread novel exert any influence? Tama, no? Kung hindi natin babasahin, paano natin maintindihan, no? Okay, kung we would just rely, ano ba, ako dinidiscussion siya and it's a little excerpt lang, but if we did not read it, how can we understand the novel? And how can we prove that ito ngang sinasabi ni Chua na what called fictionalized history, no? Or something na non-fiction, fiction siya, no? Okay, so this is our references. Okay, that's all folks. So let me end my discussion. Eh, Let me stop my recording.